Shalom, we are going to talk about a topic called Yeush, Shelo, MiDaat. Ordinarily, we know that if you have Yeush, someone has Yeush, the item no longer belongs to them, right? We know about a Shavat Aveda, that in order for something to be Shelo, there has to be Yeush on the item. If there's no Yeush, it's Chayav Lahakris. You have to give it back. And now when you find something and that owner has Yeush, the question we have to think about is who does it actually belong to? So we talked about Yeush is ordinarily the owner is given up hope of finding the item. There's no siman. The owner realizes they lost their igule devela, their fig cakes. There's no siman. They look like every other igule devela in the world. They're not going to find it. They have Yeush. Once they have Yeush, the item becomes hefker. It doesn't have any owner. Anytime you find something that is hefker, you get to keep it. So whoever finds that item gets to keep it. So this guy just found the igule devela, and he knows they have yeyush, so he knows they are shelo. He gets to keep it. Very excited about that. Question we're gonna have. I need you to write this down, right? Just in case you don't know already, don't remember. Right, now Yeush is when the owner gives up hope of finding the item. Once there is Yeush, the item is Hefker, and whoever finds it gets to keep it. Take out your notebook, write that down. This is a little more in depth than we previously have discussed. So what we're going to talk about now is called Yeush Shelo MiDaat. What if the Baal doesn't know the item is lost? Right? They don't even realize that it found. We talked about how we know that the owner knows that the item is lost in a case where there is no siman, and why we're certain they have yeyush for all the things listed in the Mishnah as shelo. We know why they don't have yeyush for the things that are chayav lahachris. What about something that's in the middle? Right? There's no reason for them to think they're going to find it again. They just don't know about it, right? The Baal doesn't know the item is lost. Something fell out of their pocket. It wasn't very heavy. They didn't realize it yet. When they do realize it, they will have Yeush because there's no Siman. Does that count as Yeush? So, that's the topic we're going to try to figure out. Yeush Shalom MiDaat. When the Baal has Yeush without knowing about it. Let me give an example. This guy is driving around his wagon, and unbeknownst to him, there is parrot falling out of the wagon, right? That's for sure more than a kav, arba amot, that's derech nafila, right? All the different qualifications we know, probably not at the grain mill if he's in a wagon, but all the qualifications we know is that when someone else finds them, they're going to be shelo. So this is happening at 8 o'clock in the morning. He has no idea that anything's falling out. So he can't have Yeush yet. He doesn't know about it. Any idea? He doesn't know. At 8:05, this guy over here in the corner, way out in the horizon, you can see him. He's still driving. He finds it. He finds, ooh, parrot. Derech nefila. Ein mem siman. Shelo, I get to keep them. Harielu shelo, and he's going to keep them. The problem is, they might still belong to the original owner because he doesn't know about it. He hasn't had any yeyush. So when he finds these, does he get to keep them or not? Are they considered hefker or not? Comes 8:30, he lost all the money because he doesn't have it, but he also knows that he's not getting it back. He has yeyush. He does have yeyush in the end. But at 8:05, when this guy found them, he didn't have yeyush yet. So at 8:30 he has yeyush, but the guy found them at 8:05. Is the guy allowed to keep them when the moment that they found the item, they didn't yet have yeyush, but in the future they will have Yeush. That's called Yeush Shelo MiDaat. When in the future they will have Yeush, but they haven't had it yet because they don't know about it yet. As soon as they find out, as soon as they realize it's lost, Yeush is not getting it back. No chance. But they don't know yet. Do we need to know that the owner knows it's lost and actually have Yeush to apply the rules of Yeush? Or can he keep them even if he doesn't know yet? That's our question. So regular Yeush is when the owner gives up hope of finding the item. Once there is Yeush, the item is Hefker. Whoever finds it gets to keep it. This guy on the stairs up here, he realized he lost his cash. He has Yeush. He felt it. And right after he felt it, which is probably immediately, this guy finds it. And looks around, doesn't know who it belongs to, can't find anybody, there's no Siman. It's his. Hari Elu Shelo gets to keep it. It's Hefker. Versus when Yeush Shelo MiDaat, the owner would give up hope of finding the item if they knew that it was lost, right? It fell out of his pocket. He didn't realize that it was falling out of his pocket. This guy finds them, but he doesn't yet have Yeush. Does that count as Yeush? That's going to be the question that we have to deal with in the next sugya we're going to learn. Does Yeush Shelo MiDaat count as Yeush or not? On the one hand, we know that they will have Yeush, right? There is no Siman. On the other hand, they didn't yet have Yeush. They didn't yet make it Hefker, so it still belongs to them. Those are going to be two arguing points we're going to see two Amarayim have. Again, in your notes, take down this term, Yeush Shelo MiDaat, Yeush, literally without knowing about it, when the owner would give up hope of finding the item if they knew that it was lost, but they don't yet know that it's lost. Is that Yeush or not? Take this note down. Continue to look at the beginning of the sugya. The Gemara asks us, Yeush Shelo MiDaat. Abaye Omer lo have Yeush. Abaye says doesn't count, right? This is not really Yeush. Doesn't count as Yeush. Abaye is one of the Amarayim. And Rava Amar, have Yeush, says it does count as Yeush. Is in fact good. Rava is another of the Amarayim. These two Amarayim often argue with each other. They often disagree. The Gemara is going to say, well, hold on a second. What exactly are they arguing about? B'davar sheyesh bo siman, kule alma lo plige de lo have Yeush. When it has a siman, Yeush Shelo MiDaat doesn't count as Yeush, right? For sure, that's not going to count. That's not Yeush. You're going to ask, as a siman, why would they have Yeush? For some reason, the person might have Yeush. You might even hear about it. The Gemara continues to say, Avagav, Dashmaina Hede Yeush. This person really did have Yeush. Lusof lo have Yeush, right? Maybe in the moment, the immediate reaction will be kind of exaggerated or without thinking. Like, oh, I'm never going to find it. I'm never going to find it. Because later on, they're going to maybe realize there is a siman. So the Gemara gives two possible reasons why, if it has a siman, we don't apply this rule of Yeush Shelo MiDaat. Meaning, Abaye and Rava don't argue if there's a siman. Two reasons. One, we're going to go over these more together. Ki ata liyadea b'isurahu ata liyadeha. When the person picked up the item for the first time, it wasn't allowed. It was a sur. It wasn't allowed for them to pick up the item at all, right? It wasn't belonging to them. It wasn't yet Hefker. When you pick up something that's Hefker, you get to keep it. But if it's not Hefker yet, you don't get to keep it. So that's the first reason. Ki ata liyadeh, when it comes to his hand, literally when it gets into his hand, it picks up the item, bi'isura, it was not allowed, it was prohibited, asr, hu, the ata liyadeh. That's the first reason why he wouldn't be Yeush, wouldn't consider it Yeush. It's almost like a consequence or a penalty for picking up something that doesn't belong to you. V'lechi yada l'nafa minei lo me'ayesh. The second reason is that when it does actually find out that it fell, when he realizes, or she realizes that it fell from them, they're not really going to have Yeush. Why? Because they're going to think it through. Their initial reaction was, oh, I'm never going to find it. But then they remember, oh, it has a siman. I had my name on it. I had my phone number on it. So you know what? That thing that person heard me say I have Yeush for and got so excited, not really having Yeush. I changed my mind. I don't have Yeush. I'm gonna find it because I have a simana. Siman, it's the same word as siman. Etli, yeshli, I have it. Yahabna simna v'shachlina le. I'm gonna give my siman and get it back. We have two possible reasons. Right, they can work together. The person hears even that they had Yeush. But when they originally got it, the person didn't know about it. They didn't yet have Yeush. And then later on, they're going to realize, oh, wait a second, I don't really have Yeush because I have a siman. Those are possible reasons why, if it has a siman, for sure, Yeush Shalom MiDaat doesn't count. The question that Abaye and Rava are going to deal with is, what happens when there is no siman? Is that Yeush or not? We're going to explore that more in class.